Star Wars 7 by 7 episode 2204. So, in the midst of all the other things going on in and around the world, you may not have seen this come through. I didn't see it make a splash on social media, but there's some news about the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, or at least some rumors, and I may be able to add a little additional perspective to that. Punch it! Hey Rebel Rouser, I'm Alan Voivod, and this is Star Wars 7 by 7, your daily dose of Star Wars joy, and thank you so much for joining me for it. So, here is the big rumor that is kicking around right now. It has to do with Hayden Christensen and the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. So just to give you the background, the Obi-Wan Kenobi series was, as you'll recall, announced at the D23 Expo in August of 2019. So here we are nearly a year later, and unfortunately, filming and production has been at a standstill, not just because of the coronavirus, but also because there was a situation regarding the scripts and the story and wanting to retool things for whatever reason that was happening behind the scenes. And so the writing switch happened, and maybe, not all the scripts were done. There are conflicting stories about how many scripts were done versus not done and all that. And ultimately, a guy named Joby Harold was brought in who had something to do with the third John Wick movie, and he is now somehow involved. And at the time, The Hollywood Reporter was announcing in January of this year that whereas they had initially planned on doing 6 episodes for the Kenobi series, that it was scaled down to 4. So, there's been all this stuff going on. And, the other news about it is just that Obi-Wan Kenobi himself, Ewan McGregor, is still attached and still very excited and, has spoken very highly about, the project and his own anticipation for being able to do it. Deborah Chow is still attached as the director and showrunner for the episodes and the series as a whole. So that is going on too. As far as what it would actually cover, it's supposed to take place, I think it's 8 years after the events of Revenge of the Sith. So it's basically squarely in the dark times and just slightly before the events of Solo, A Star Wars Story. And that's as much as we've known about it. Apparently, they were at a point, according to The Hollywood Reporter, where they were starting to test actors against Ewan McGregor. So they were starting to cast for other roles potentially. But obviously that, has kind of stopped as well. Well, this is where Hayden Christensen comes in. There was a story by Latino Review Media, LRM, online that says that Hayden Christensen is signed on for the Obi-Wan Kenobi series and is signed on for a major role in the series, so that he's not just cameoing in an episode, but that he's actually going to be actively involved in the whole series. And I know we haven't talked about LRM on the show, actually, maybe for as much as 5 years, because back in the day when rumors and leaks and spoilers were kicking around for The Force Awakens, they were one of the outlets that I had been keeping an eye on, and they, among others, were right from time to time, as opposed to ones that were just not right at all from time to time. So they actually had a pretty good reputation in my eyes as far as that goes. And so, it's kind of interesting to see them popping up again here, and they've popped up with a couple of other things recently as well. But they're the ones who are breaking this news, and I had someone reach out to me, and we've talked about me getting, contacted previously about things related to The Mandalorian and to Ahsoka Tano and Boba Fett and all this stuff. Well, similar thing happened for me today. And basically what I'm hearing is that, yes, Hayden Christensen has been involved in negotiations to appear in this series, and that he's actually been in negotiations with them for a long time. As far as, what a long time means, a long time, as the Obi-Wan Kenobi line goes. Yeah, it's been quite a while. So that much sounds right. They are saying on LRM that he is 100% on board. I haven't gotten that myself, but that, we're, as close as you could possibly be to that point, basically. So in other words, it sounds like this report is legit. Everything that I'm going to say from this point onward is my own thinking about the reporting and what that could possibly mean for the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. So this is not based on any rumors, leaks, spoilers, or anything like that, but just considering that they had difficulties with the script, whatever that looked like, and that they are retooling the series and that they brought a new writer on to work on it, it does make me wonder whether anything had to do with Hayden Christensen being on board or being in talks to be a part of this, right? Like, that seems like such a major decision as far as that goes. Like, if you're going to involve Anakin Skywalker at some point, then yeah, I think you probably, would want to switch things up, or, if it's possible that you could get Anakin Skywalker on board, then yeah, maybe you'd want to do something about that. And I'm saying Anakin Skywalker because, yes, I know Hayden Christensen, lobbied for the opportunity to and did succeed in playing Darth Vader in Revenge of the Sith at the very end of the movie, but is that what we would be bringing him back for in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series? I find that somewhat difficult to believe, right? I just, there are other people that they've had to play Darth Vader. I mean, they had 2 different people playing him in Rogue One. So it seems like that wasn't necessarily, enough. Basically, like, they've had other people play Darth Vader. They can have other people play Darth Vader. So, why would you bring back Hayden Christensen unless you were going to bring him back to play Anakin Skywalker? And if that's the case, then this whole business about the series supposed to be taking place 8 years prior to the events, or I'm sorry, 8 years after the events of Revenge of the Sith and the Fall of the Empire, well, I suppose it's possible that even that is up for discussion, debate, and revision for all intents and purposes. They certainly could have, done flashback stuff with Obi-Wan and Anakin and had that relate to whatever story they were telling in a given episode. But yeah, if they're bringing him back, I feel like we may be in for something different entirely. Again, that is just me looking at the available evidence and wondering, what it is that we're in for. But as far as the news, the rumor about Hayden Christensen being signed and having been in negotiations for this, I can tell you that seems like it's legit from what I'm hearing. But until we hear it for sure, we just have to be quietly, excited at the possibility. I think it would be wonderful to have Hayden Christensen back in the fold and performing the character. And yeah, I look forward to the possibility. So there you go. That's the deal with the Obi-Wan Kenobi series right now, and Hayden Christensen potentially coming back to be a part of it. And that's going to do it for this episode of the show as well. Thank you so much for joining me for it, as always. And may the Force be with you wherever in the world you may be.
Star Wars 7x7 is not endorsed or sponsored yet by Lucasfilm Limited, Disney, or 20th Century Fox, and is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Star Wars, the Star Wars logo, all names and pictures of Star Wars characters, vehicles, and any other Star Wars-related items are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of Lucasfilm Limited or their respective trademark and copyright holders. May the Force be with them. All original content is copyright 2020 by Star Wars 7x7. We hope you love it.